All right, a very good day, fateful day for us this evening. Sincere apology for the other week we were unable to meet, and of course, the year is winding up, and a lot of things will be coming up and all of that. But of course, as a businessman, you always need to know when to take advantage of time and season of re-strategizing and all of that. Right, this evening, I'm going to be very brief and just to pass certain ideas and information across to us. And of course, to still put us on the spotlight in terms of getting prepared for 2023. And besides that, I've told many friends that I said, once you've seen that what we have done so far for the past 2, 3, or 4 years, or let's say this last Bullrun was not noble enough, it is expedient for you to sit down and begin to roll out things out of the mistake we made in the past. And that's how to go further and how to take advantage of the next Bullrun. To go by this, I'm sure a lot of us have been So I'm sure a good number of us have been hibernating, especially those of you who are new to crypto, for the past bad events we've been having, especially around the, some major exchange platforms and things happening. Now, you're going to experience certain hypes by 2023. Of course, we've said the market, we've not really seen if we are bottom out totally, as it were. Of course, tentatively, we're looking at 17.5 that time as the major bottom, and which could perhaps still be the strongest bottom, as it were. But we are spotting, of course, a lot of support downward, which is never a bad idea. I know a good number of us have not really permuted our waves around what we're actually achieving or doing or where we're heading to. Very quick one. I'm going to tow away now, and if you can see my screen. All right. Now, if you look at the market, so going by the market structure, because I've always told people that the people who win in the market are the people who see the long-term perspective for the market and not the short-term viewers. All right. We said, of course, we have a very big resistance, more resistance upward, down, we have more free fall downward, as it were. Now, we do some experimentation and see why you need to wake up and why you need to define what exactly you're looking for going forward in the crypto space. One of the easiest aspects of the financial market that's easy to cheat is the crypto market, okay? The crypto market is easy to cheat, and I will always tell us this, because it's still the baby out of all. It is the baby out of all, and it's easy to cheat. But sometimes where we want to cheat the crypto market, we get it all wrong. We wouldn't want to wait to see maturity of what we are doing, and that's why we miss it a lot. For traders, sometimes we rule out the sentiment and the fundamental around the crypto and focus so much on the technical. But of course, the technical will play out, but can be either extended or contrasted, as it were, based on fundamental and all of that. Now, if you look at it now, for me, what am I supposed to be doing now? If you are new to crypto and all of that, what are you supposed to be doing as a new person to crypto, or somebody who actually is serious about this crypto business and not just gambling around? The most expected thing that we want anyone to, of course, be looking at now is, number one, did you really have a system that is getting you paid that you can have some liquid to take advantage of the market. Number two, oh, you are new, or perhaps you have set aside some fund. As far as the sports trading is concerned, you are not wrong buying Bitcoin as it were now. All right? You are not wrong buying Bitcoin as it were now, till possibly till 11,300. Something like that, or 11,450, let's just say 11,500. For me, I still have even at 9,000. But we want to look at one of the strongest out of all is the $13,700, which we have observed for long, that we could have that. 13,700 is one of the strongest. And then we look at it that chances are there that you could have a pullback and then continuation of the downtrend. Yes, fine. It looks as if we are over, and then again, we continue again. And that's exactly what we're going to be having, maybe extended till January or thereabout. And then we could have it, then maybe before Christmas or before 31st, we could see maybe perhaps the market getting up to $18,000 and gets stopped out again, and then we bounce down. Now, what am I trying to do? I'm looking at to forward and following the market as much as possible. And if I was, maybe a consistent future trader, I will follow market up to maybe around 18,000 and put my short, because we could have, similar things like this, back to that, maybe at 14,000, then to 13,900 thereabout, before we eventually settle at $13,700, and then creating another range and all of that. Now, I'm not doing any technical analysis here. I'm just like giving you what I permutate. And that's why I kept telling everybody, if you are on a private mentorship and all of that, you should get ready, because we're doing a lot of bumper to bumper, updates and then expected strategy that ought to be put in place. And then for those of you who are new, you are starting in crypto, there's nothing bad in you just buying Bitcoin and keep now. You are not wrong. So you continue to buy it. You can buy it downward to as low as $13,000 or $11,500 as it were. Now, another thing I want us to be very careful about now is this. We have seen a lot happening. Now, if you look at it in the market, a lot of things like Binance came up with so many, ideology and all of that, and where we're having what we call the proof of reserve, looking at different exchange. Now, you have to be very careful on exchange you want to trade with, or exchange you want to have much of your money if you are dealing with centralized exchange, all right? Because a lot of things may still happen, because nobody expected, what happened to FTX to have happened. I know a good number of my friends who lost crazy money using their boat with FTX, and then they never believed that what happened to FTX could happen. And then, so proof of reserve, you want to go and check exchange platform that are using, if you check most of the exchange platform, and I was like saying, one of these things I sent to our group the other day, that if you look at it practically now, there are no new money coming into crypto. You need to understand that. So even when we pretend to see as if the market is mooning back, you will agree with me that there are no volume, okay, coming, so profile. Okay. Sorry, just a moment. Okay, so you'll see what we have, of course, tentatively having some other thing, and you can say game could change to an extent when you have bang above $19,000 or thereabout, but of course, chances are more, relaxed downward, okay, relaxed downward, I'd give and take the 11,500 or 17,000 within these two range, of course, and then relax downward to 11,000. We are not saying that the market cannot get to $9,000. I have market I set at 9,500. In fact, it may shock you to know that I have some market I set at 7,000 plus. One of the good things is that if the market didn't get there, no problem. I will have my money, right? And give and take. But we should be careful going forward. You look at most of the exchange, which you can use as another indicator now. These are non-chain analysis, for instance. Most of the exchange now, if you look at their proof of reserve, look at Binance, for instance. Their proof of reserve is BUSD. Now, proof of reserve simply means it kind of the liquidity that the users are trading on that exchange, and they have it reserved, not that they are using the money as it were. And you see that most people are edging their trading into stablecoin. That's making a little profit, they push it, right? That is Binance. Most of the reserve Binance have is predominantly on BUSD and next to BTC, then next Ethereum. So very little of USDT as it were. Now, if you look at, so this can be another yardstick for you. Bitfinex, another fantastic. Bitfinex have much of their proof of reserve in BTC. All right. Now, what does that give to you? Buying BTC at this point is not wrong. And then you can buy it to as low as any amount to tell you that one of the things you should have in your mind right now is this. What should I do? I'm coming into crypto. I don't know what to do and all of that. The good news you should have now is that no matter how much you are buying Bitcoin now, or if you are just buying more Bitcoin now, why should I buy Bitcoin when there are other investments? Conservatively, you are buying Bitcoin now because you know that you are not buying the top, rather you are buying the bottom. Okay, so you are buying the dip and not the top. So that's one of the advantage you have now, that if you are buying BTC, yeah, fine. After buying $17,000 or $15,000 and you get to $7,000, it's not a bad deal because that's a range. Okay, so that's a range. So for those of you who are new, you are very new to crypto and then you are struggling to understand the market and all of that, you don't give yourself too much headache. No, it's just to sample 1 or 2, 3, primary coin. And if you know you have enough money, then of course you can buy some of those primary coin, because certainly you are not buying the top, rather you are buying the deep. However, it can still go deeper. But the good news is that you are not buying the top, but you're buying the deep. The only difference now is that you now need to understand the purpose of your buy. So are you buying the deep to wait for the next bull run? If answer is yes, then you are fine. But if you're saying, I'm buying the dip now, because when the market just go up a little, I said, you're actually wrong, because you're going to frustrate yourself. Now, Bitfinex to tell you that, oh, wow, it is good. And then BitMEX, virtually everything is in BTC. Okay? So people now, maybe, even people are trading future on BitMEX, they are hedging to more of their BTC. That's accumulation they are doing. So irrespective of what they make now, they are building more of BTC into their portfolio. Then you are looking at Bybit. Bybit have more of USDT in their proof of reserve, and then next BTC. Now, you definitely can say, okay, this type of exchange, good and fine. They are more fantastic. CheckSwig, everything in BTC, right? Then you look at crypto.com, okay, USDC, BTC, Ethereum, and much of Shiba. So about 4 predominant asset class. The other ones are just minor, stuff like that. Even crypto.com does not have of reserve, proof of reserve much in CRO. Okay. Then you look at derivatives. You have more BTC and Ethereum. So you can say, okay, these exchanges are okay. Huobi, yeah, Huobi in their token, yeah, fine. From what like Binance was saying, that I cannot take my native token to borrow funds, so it should be more cherished. But of course, you will need to be careful with this type. I'm not saying Huobi is not good, but if in their own native token, any manipulation can happen. For me, I would rather go for coins. You can see even Binance, much of the proof of reserve is in BUSD, which in stable coin. Trading, I take profit back, and then so much of the liquidity of fund available are in BUSD, which means the market, of course, is not game over for the bear market. We're still deeper. Was it going to dip more? So I would rather not choose that. So let me look at KuCoin. You can see KuCoin USDT, more stable coin. All right. And now, if I have an exchange that is having proof of reserve in stable coin, fine. And if it's going to have in coins, it shouldn't be maybe the native token, but at least legacy or primary coins. Maybe BTC, Ethereum, even BNB to an extent. But of course, we want to establish more strength on, more of legacy coin as it were. Now look at OKS. You can see more of USDT, BTC, and Ethereum. Then you look at, so like, I would not too much patronize my maybe fund on this exchange like this that's holding more of their proof of reserve in their own native token. Man, BTC fell to an extent. So, but I would rather want to see, stable coins or major of legacy coin, as it were, for proof of reserve. So be careful when you are selecting exchange now, especially at this season. Yeah, we are not saying you should move, you should not trade, but if you must trade, you want to be careful. If you make some money, you can pull it out to your decentralized wallet and have it there, rather than keeping most of those money in your centralized exchange. Okay. Okay, I will show something. Okay, so like I've said, the market, of course, the strength of going down is stronger than the strength of going up. Okay, but certainly we want to say, okay, you are over, you want to see the market returning, of course, crossover here, and then having more of activities, then you say, okay, we'll bounce up, of course, which is not certain anyway. So let's be careful. Now, those of us who are in the business, you must define something very importantly for yourself. And that thing is called strategy. And strategy, by creating target for yourself, you're creating target for yourself. I just discovered that some of us who trade, that's why I love swing trade and not scalping. But what is called trade is ability to actually create a system and strategy of flow that you could build momentum 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, not this gambling of you make profit today, tomorrow you lose the profit and lose even with the capital, you look for another capital, you start, and all of that. It rather being conservative and progressive rather than being aggressive and, of course, having more cry, as it were. I've discovered, I was checking one analysis of a project, a platform. Let me quickly check over here. Okay. Let me show you something. If you look at this, I was following up this platform as like a boat, all right? And I saw what was happening. Look at, these are different results output. On the same coin, look at this, Ava's long result. I discovered that, why is the long result? The long result, experimenting this, for instance, that for about 130 days, right? 130 days, average of, yes, average of about $356, 130 days, and all of that. Just using an example. Now, if you check the breakdown, because I just put some sub-analysis, and if you check the breakdown from the starting, profit was coming to an extent. Now, this is both. This is analysis from, I use 3Commerce both for my trade on, swing trade, both in swing future and then accumulation of legacy coin and all of that. So in fact, even my scalping strategy that I don't have time to do for myself, the Trade Commerce board do this year for me, so I just get it set up and all of that. Now, one thing I see that even some people who we introduced to them about 3 years ago or so, if not 2019, I'm not mistaken, which have been using the board before then, many of them first make a lot of money, and then at a point they run away. Because why? They were not following sequentially, and they were not building portfolio. Their own was like they just gambled to the market, and then the boat was trading because the trend was going up. And so, of course, it could enter and exit, and run at profit. But when there was a reversal, what strategy were you able to put in place to follow the market, novidizing, and then be able to accumulate more money? If you look at it this now, this started trading, and I'm just doing this analysis here. At first, money was coming in, right? Money was coming in to all this level on the same day, right? Look at it from 1st of May, 2022. And then you get up to this, making about $9. The same day, other trades start coming in, okay? So we'll start making little money, then we'll start losing. Look at it. Look at what has built up from this to 9 point something. Just one trade disorganized it, right? Just one trade, and then reducing that money back to 1.5 and eventually negative 4.3. You can just see consistently like that. We are going negative, going negative, going negative. All right. Then when we start winning gradually here, we start reducing the negative, Eventually, we finish reducing negative and come to positive. So, but in a nutshell, you could see the prophecy continue. Now, this is the power of identifying where you are going. If you do not identify where you're going, at a point where the trade was getting lost more repeatedly, you get tired. But eventually, if you know where you are going, you are building momentum continually in that order. You could see this, right? Some losses start happening again. Then more profits were coming in more, all right? You could see, right? So at the end of that month, eventually, look at it up here. Yeah, at the end of that same month, right? This is, 29, all right? End up in profit, $230. But you could be jubilating. Oh my God, I've made $230 in 1 month. Next month, you may not make up to that. Okay? Now, the thing continues, profit coming, and all of that. Then until negative, start entering. $11, $9. Can you see? Negative. Reduce and even go below the first month profit, getting eaten up, right? Look at it. Then additional profits start coming in. I'm just emphasizing on this for us to understand, okay, at a point, this is almost to the end of the month for the next subsequent month. Remember the first month was like $200 plus. Then you can imagine at the end of the second month, you may want to calculate this to say, oh, since I make $200 the last month, $200 this month will happen, then I'll make $400. No, that's not correct. You can see at the end of this total money, $312. Meanwhile, the first one, 202 or thereabout. So what are we now saying? Are we now saying, oh, this new month, what we make was 110? Yeah, invariably, yes. But you must have done arithmetic of like, okay, by next month, I should make so a month. That's the difference between somebody who is building, momentum of his business and somebody who's just looking for, hit and run and all of that. Now, I showed this for you to understand. Now, this was a long. The same asset, short. What has gone wrong? What has gone wrong? Now, look at it. The same asset, short, $641. That's only profit. Now, look at the difference. All right? The activities continue. So you can see that there are more win here, even though there are some negative, but there are more win. You know why? Because that's the trend of the market. That's the trend of the market. You see more of your trade ending up in profit of the short market than the long because of the trend of the market, as it were. So yada, 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 till we go here. Okay. So at the end of this month, okay, 31st. Just need to, okay. So you can see now at the end of the 31st, this amount to about, can see that there was some trade that couldn't take more of the other one, but this at the end of the first month, okay? You see, now the next ending, good, 30th, 392, now different from the other one. Then we continue, okay? Then you can see the progress. Why? That's the trend of the market. Now, why I'm showing us this is that don't get angry with yourself. You are getting some trade wrong, and then you are getting angry with yourself unnecessarily. You do not need that, because know that you can't win all trade. As far as you're doing, especially those of you who are doing day trading and scalping, you will end up sometimes losing more than you win. And so that all boils down to what you now know and what strategy are you applying to know how to, always break even at the end of the day. I'm sharing this all with us so that we understand that there are some persons now who perhaps have told you how much they can be making every day, but eventually they pack off, they can't say anything any longer because the way they estimated in the paper, in practical, it wouldn't work that way. Okay. So that's for the market. For instance, this is BTC. If you look at it now, BTC, we're having some range all this while, from 15,900 or thereabout, and then to somewhere up here. Oh, this girl here. Okay, so since November, we've been in a range, for instance, right? From this 15,900 or 15,800, now continuing in that range, you see? And then, of course, we're observing there's going to be some resistance at 13,311 and all of that. And then, of course, we could come down to give and take. Okay, so but just to tell you that at this point, you could see that the trading activities of people on different exchanges, on Binance, on Bybit, and all of that, they're leveraging. That's why the proof of reserve of Binance, more of stablecoin, and many other exchange platforms, as it were. So invariably, what people understood the market more, whatever thing they are trading right now, they egg their profit back to stablecoin, so that irrespective of how much they make, and they encounter some losses, they could counterbalance and then, of course, we continue to move on in their business. So I'm sharing with us this so that we help ourselves not to fall victim of, overestimations or overhype of some group that tell you the market is this, I can tell you this market. They can be very categorical and all of that. You end up being victim of their saying. So let's be careful, because what you are looking for is different from what another person is actually projecting. So yours is how to maximize and build your wealth via digital asset accumulation. And so we have to be meticulous and know exactly what we want per time. Okay. Quickly, I need to share this with us. I wish. Okay, I was checking some coins of either hype they are creating around them. I don't know how much they are now. 14 cents. I've not even sent it to anywhere. So let me look at no sensor. Okay. Sensor. I was doing some review on this sensor, but I may not have the time to start telling us about that now. If I have time, I can do it, and probably that will be sent to private mentorship also. But if you are strategic enough and you are here tonight, you can pay very good attention on this coin and follow up your own permutation. Follow it. I was busy, and I remember I told us for that week I didn't have time to start since last week or last 2 weeks, but I bought and then, in fact, even on private mentorship, I've don't send any message to anywhere. But there's some things they are doing, and then of course may propel the need for push the price of the coin eventually. That does not mean that the market cannot still crash down, as long as BTC may crash down and all of that. So, but I think it's a coin that you want to pay attention with, and of course at its stage. Okay, it's already 15 cents. I think I was seeing it. When was that? Yeah, sorry. 14 days ago. Actually met a range of either 10 cents or thereabout. Okay. So the next is, I'm not here to do detail on it. So I'm just giving you this other guy. What was I reviewing on them? They what? No, there's so much hype around the DAG. So there are so many DAG, but this is Constellation. So perhaps maybe a token you want to pay attention to. Yeah. So it's not a financial advice though. So if I were you, I can DCA buying of it and eventually to see what happened around them. I think there's staking or something they are doing. So you may want to like pay attention to it to see how to buy into it eventually. Still at things on KuCoin. I bought at KuCoin. So on KuCoin is another Gate.io, but I actually bought on KuCoin. So you may want to buy that if you so wish. Not a financial advice, but a friendly advice and all of that. Now again, so very last thing, those of us who are using our boat, I told us to pause your alert and until maybe I'll follow up to see the update and see the good reports if it's they were able to go. As I intentionally said, let's wait for like 1 weekend to see. Yeah, of course, even though you can start a trade and many of them will not go through the way you estimate it and all of that, that doesn't mean you will not get it right. But to be on the safer side, and perhaps those of us who are on the Evergreen FFS, we have seen, I'm sure there's a trade that's still on that was a drawdown till the weekend. Probably they will resume the trade tomorrow and all of that. Now, what I would advise most of us is when you start a project like that, that's going to be accumulating fund for you, helping. It's always good to have something reasonable there. And again, watch it to organically grow or over time, and then you could do something meaningful with it. So example is like the Evergreen FFS. I intentionally created different accounts that, of course, use my family to verify the broker, and of course, monitoring the progress, right, to see how it goes. And if you look at it over time too, when you give a close monitoring to the progress, and if it has made a lot of yield, it's easy for us to take out such money to buy into, other projects and all of that. So on that note, for me, I think the Evergreen FFS have been doing a nice job. So why do we get crazy about it? Because it's a fully decentralized system. Of course, they can have some flops, still trying to upgrade and update and go to the best standard they wish and all of that. So, but for now, I think it's worthwhile for me. And then we could do a lot of things. Help making that the platform to hedge and be doing some dirty job for us. That's going to be. So for me, and maybe before the year runs out, I'll just do a template of the cash flow system and how you need to pay wrap attention so that you can learn and know how to apply your skill on your portfolio building. Okay, so that's for now. I think I need to forgot something. Okay, I think let us ask questions. So please pay attention. Okay, like I saw, I said by next year, 2023, there's so many coins that will be, of course, they will be coming out this year, but some coin may really give you more money over time because they will cash into the time, the season update or season talk. For instance, the season now is more or less of like happenings around exchange platform, getting bankrupt, then some of it having this issue or the other. So you're going to see some coins that will be, tailored around decentralized exchange platform, how to have a book order and all of that. So those things will be happening. And they'll create hype around it and people will jump FOMO in. And of course, if you're smart enough, you're able to leverage on the season and then be able to move on as it were. Then, so example, like I was going through one, we're doing experiment on. Look at one example now. This is like a decentralized exchange that I can trade, all right, and then connect with my external wallets and trade over it. I may not be able to do any experimentation here, and then trading from your wallet. So there will be some coins that or project that may come out to talk towards issues of decentralized stuff and all of that. So the hype may really pump some of those later coins. Certainly some of those security coin, we've always been having issues with, authority of different countries talked about the identity and all of that. So, but you're going to see more of things going around decentralized platforms and then using that as an edge for people to buy into, some project and all of that. So we're going to be having more of DEX swapping, DEX future, DEX this, come 2023. So the better we get prepared, the good for us, as it were. Okay, I think at this point I'll have to draw the curtain. You're here and you have questions, then I think we'll just meet us for us to ask questions, and then that can form another help for us to learn more. Okay, so if you are in our forum and you've not started with your Evergreen FFX, it's easy to go back to your friends. Or whoever must have talked to you about the Evergreen FFX, because it's not a marketing per se, it's a utility system, and so service provider that's going to help you. For me, if I have such a thing that's going to do constantly for 1 or 2 years, that's going to be massive. Okay, and Okay, so so you have questions. I'm going to be muting you. Okay, so if you have some question, you can send on the chat. Okay, Martins. Okay, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Okay, are you hearing me, sir?
Loud and clear, yeah.
Okay, so the question I want to ask actually is outside what you just taught today, but it revolves around centralized exchange, what has been happening lately.
Yeah.
So my question is, as you rightly said, a lot has been happening. Most exchanges are folding up, and like some of us actually do daily buy and sell. So which means that we need to maybe store some stable coin in some places and maybe dispose them the next day. So we resort, like somebody like me, I resorted to using SafePal. But just sometime last week, I discovered that there is a phishing attack on a SafePal, where you see something like 00 coming in and leaving the wallet. So I just wanted to ask, or maybe if you have any advice, a better secured, decentralized platform, one can store stable coin, or if there is a concern, I don't know if you know of any concern around SafePal. That's just my question, sir.
Okay, now for you now that do more of volumes and then at least good you are doing, like I told you guys, I think was it last 2 weeks, and I said please, or I think it was during the time of FTX stuff, how told us to please exit some of our asset back to decentralized exchange wallet. Sorry, and now what you do, like your type now, there's no how if you are doing frequent transactions of your crypto. There is nothing stopping you not to have your hardware wallet by this time. There is nothing. You should have your, so that every of your thing is not going to be totally online. And it does not take you anything if you do your MetaMask and connect your Ledger Nano to it. It's going to make more sense for you. Okay? Yeah, it's going to make more sense to you because we're talking of security here. And it's your money, and so you have to, as a matter of fact, find a way to secure it. So what is better for you if you're doing more of, a lot of transactions, and then like that. It's just better for you, okay? It's just better for you to have your hardware wallet, and that's going to help you more than just depending on all of those wallets. Yes, they are independent wallet, but they are still online. So you have to like have your hardware wallet, like even SafePal have a hardware wallet, so that most of the money you move it, like my SafePal wallet is connected to my hardware wallet of the SafePal. So most of the money can be moved, and it does not take anything for you want to do transactions, so that confirmation, like MetaMask, when you want to do transaction, confirmation will always be done through your hardware wallet, like Ledger Nano X. It will be done through it instead of only just confirmation on your, when you say, okay, agree, sign, confirm, and all of that. So I think it's expedient. Anyone who know that I want to take my business very seriously, it's high time you have to go the way of having your hardware wallet. You can place order on Ledger Nano S or shop.ledger Nano S. Maybe I should check one of those links, and then you order for it. Sometimes if you want to get it faster, you may have to now maybe doing the express, and then the good thing, of course, you can pay with crypto, and then so that it can be shipped to you, and then you are fine. You can buy, you have different categories, and then some upgraded ones that have the kind of YouTube connections and all of that. So the best is you have more portfolios and you do frequent transactions and all of that. It is expedient. And of course, we have been talking about the porosity about Trust Wallet, and I'm sure they know that people are moved to SafePal more, and then of course want to try to still make and frustrate a lot of people about their SafePal. But I will go through whatever if there are other loops that are actually happening more on SafePal now, and then update us maybe within the week. I will go through to know, because it's trustworthy. We used to have some of those flops. And I think maybe Binance want to really rebuild the trust wallet. But of course, I'm not saying they will not gain people trust, but they may not gain my own trust again, because for me, disappointment is to expect it. And if you didn't expect it and it happened, don't reappoint. So, and that's just it. So no fight there. But please, hardware wallet is expedient to have if you do not have.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. Okay, so more questions? You can type it, you can just put up your hands, then I will give you room to ask questions. And guys, I've told you guys that 2023 is going to be phenomenal. Don't think that, like when we kept telling people, don't think that the market, the bear market was over. It's so funny for people who thought the bear market was over. How do you think it's over? And then people come to me, oh, I don't know why the market is doing like that. I say, what are you talking about? Because if you look at it literally, you look at it, most of like those things I showed us, which is like report extracted from 3Commas and through another like automated system, that just showed us here. If you look at it, that most of the trade that did well were more of the one on short. Why? The one on short. Why? You see most of the one on long. Okay, this is Solana long. You see the report on $500, 3067, and you're going to see more of lost trade, of course. Then if you see Solana short, sorry about that. So you can see that the trend is favoring it. And of course, you can always catch, but you don't relax much like that, especially those of you are doing future trading. And some friends too were doing future trading. You will see them, they can do how many percent today, and they lost how many percent tomorrow. That's not trade. Trade is conservative, strategic, consistent winning, though you lose some. But when you always the time you make profit now, and then you make maybe 100 and something percent, and all other trade later for 4 or 5 consecutive trade, you are losing and all of that, or you hit stop loss and all, those eat into your equity, and eventually you get tired. So emotions start setting in and all of that. And then you tell yourself, oh, what have I done to myself? And so if you look at most of the short are more favorable than the long. Why? Because we're in a downtrend. So literally what the market was doing was to be creating a kind of pullback. Can you see the guy? So I've told those there's a resistance, after $17,300 and all of that. Now, we don't know what the magic BTC may do. All right, could flip down to 16,900 or all of that, or even not to as low as 16,000. Or we should see horror. We should see horror. This week we're entering. But for me, I was expecting that, okay, if it can manage itself, come to 18,000, which chances were narrow, because if you could break this, we could have chances up there and all of that. If you look at it, BTC. So, but it was not happening, all right? It was not happening. And so you can have more free flow guy to come to 14,000 or 13,600 and 700, maybe from now to January and all of that. So I'd rather look for a way of shorting and then I can short with low leverage, maybe 3x. I'm not telling you to go and short anyway. I'm not telling you to go and do future trading. Be careful. I don't do often. I can enter a future trade, and it can be running for, I remember one that run for like 3 or 6 months. It just to get a good entry, So imagine you have short the market from $48,000. You won't panic anything to stop it out until you find out that we're already totally in the range of the bottom, and then, you know, to have a closer. And that's why we have told us to diversify. So I don't see anything stopping me to have reasonable money like in evergreen FFS or related stuff that would get me accumulated, you know, soft money that's liquid, while most of my asset diversified to staking, mining, and all of that. And so people do not understand when we tell them, hey, you have to do some mining, and if you must trade even futures or whatever, or, you know, spot, you just do swing instead of this daily scalping. And that's what kill a lot of people. Daily, I want to make this, so I'm on today and all of that. The market will so deal with you because you're under pressure, your emotion is in and all of that. Trading, I like freelance trading, just enjoy myself, enjoy the ride, and then, you know, let the money come and fall into pleasant places. So we just need to be extra careful, right? Not to become a toy to the market and all of that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Any other question? If you have questions.
Yes, I don't know if I can ask again.
Go ahead. Why not?
Okay, so it's just a follow-up to my first question.
Okay.
Like the issue of MetaMask, for instance.
Yes.
You discover that it is much easier sending USDT into MetaMask, because like when you are sending from Binance, there is always provision for TRC20, ERC20, and also BSC20, and MetaMask is always revolving around BSC20. So when we send TRC, and most of the buyers, when you want to dispose your USDT, you discover that 99% of buyers actually prefer TRC20.
TRC20, yeah.
And MetaMask doesn't have provision for this, or let me not say, but I say I don't know if MetaMask, or there's a way to configure MetaMask to accommodate TRC20 so that you can now send TRC20 to TRC20, because most of them don't even understand what you mean by, okay, copy BSC for me or copy ERC for me. They just know TRC, and MetaMask doesn't have such provision, unlike SafePal that has provision for TRC20.
Yeah. Yeah, you can as well, you know, since this, you know, that this is my jurisdiction and my business, there's a configuration on MetaMask too, but if it's giving you much headache, I think Tron Mainnet 2, you can connect external hardware wallet to Tron Main, that is Tron Link, that is the DEX. You can, I think, yes, you can connect your hardware wallet to the Tron Link. Yeah, you can connect to Niger on the Tron Link wallet. So you can as well create that option for yourself on Tron Link. Since, because you, of course, right, you can, you can create, look at it. Let me just show an example. I may not do this detail that way, right? So you can, are you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So if you look at, you can use Tron Link 2 for that, where you can go to your Tron Link, since mainly you want to like TRC20 and verify, since their own protocol where you add wallet, see, pair hardware wallet and all of that, pair ledger to use your hardware wallet, so you can pair with your Ledger Nano, connect and all of that. You understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you understand. So the same Ledger Nano you have, you pair it, so that all your confirmation of transaction will still always take through that, and then you still be fine.
Okay, sir.
Because it doesn't make sense that when you are doing your trade, so BTC don't want to, BTC, are we currently? He didn't want to go to the 18, and I was waiting for it to short it. And the one is actually telling me to have short. These guys, don't try me with this kind of game you want to play. I don't understand what BTC is trying to play now. Okay, so that's what you can do. So you can just like make do with your MetaMask and your Tron Link, right? And then connect them. Because I know majority, not even people, platforms right?
Yes.
Some platform by default, what they just configure their this thing to is TRC20. In fact, if some of them are going to not to use TRC20, you will see that they will fall back to the ERC20 as in predominantly when they want to do anything. So you can just make do with your, Tron link and all of that. It's only those of us who have been in crypto that you see us much talking of different protocol like ERC20, BP20 and all of that. Other people don't understand. They don't know all those jargon. They don't have time for it. All they would know that is TRC20. In fact, you will agree with me that initially they don't even know about TRC20. The only thing they know was ERC20. You will see that as at the time we're already making use of ERC20, paying some 0 point something dollar, $1. People were still paying during that Ethereum price high. They were paying $20 for fee. They don't even know. So they were like, but that's what they know. So, and since you are dealing with people and you have to check what work for them, it's not about yourself. And that's why I always tell friends, it's not about yourself. It's about the people you are serving or people you are rendering services for. And then you have to now find a way to be able to make things easy for them and yourself. Does that make sense?
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So, like I've said, those of us, I'm sure those of you outside Port Harcourt, you say Port Harcourt people are enjoying it and all of that. Now, I've told us that this week, probably maybe Thursday, okay, is that Thursday or Friday? I think Friday, it's going to be kind of social media training. This one guy is a professional, resource person is be invited to come and show us some of those things that beyond what to know and what to think about the TikTok and some other things. That will be full training in our office on Friday or so. I've told us it's going to be communicated to be eligible to come for the training. It's not for all. And then probably if we're able to schedule for the online either that Friday, will let us know. And then the online conference maybe in the morning of Thursday, then that will be posted maybe on our platforms and all of that. So it just like, give some of those, hint points and preparation for 2023 and then strategy and what you need to do, perhaps. And of course, what plan B have in stock, and then just to let us know, because when you fail to plan, you have actually say, I'm already failure. And I always tell people is that copy and paste is permitted as far as you are copyright. And then, but sometimes when we are too diluted with too many instructors, that's where we begin to have issues and then missing a lot of things. For me, I always tell people, I said, if for what I'm doing in crypto were not to be like kind of ministry, I won't talk to anybody. I'll just be in my house, doing my thing, doing my permutation. But sometimes when I decide to be very quiet, if I'm quiet for 1 week, I can tell you my result will be shocking. That's the truth. Because I'll have a very fresh brain, do my thing, and then do my permutation. I remember many years back, usually be only me and 1 or 2, 3 persons that were always doing staking. And people said, no, there's nothing profiting there. And all of that. But when we saw what we could pull out from staking, mining, and some of that diversification, people were shocked. You eventually will see that even when your portfolio is punctured, some will hedge it eventually. But sometimes what I saw in most people today, when they come into crypto, they just hear that people are making money. That's where they come in. There was no expectation as to, okay, I want to use this thing to achieve freedom. And that's why we're saying plan B, 5 years to financial freedom via digital asset accumulation. If you have gotten it wrong and the message was not really well captured and you were just blabbing and running around, there's a room for you to start afresh 2023. You are doing to get some liquidity, to take care of yourself, and then building your portfolio and all of that. Those are strategy, but permutations you are drawing, to be able to, because there's nothing as terrible as when you don't permutate and create those portfolio when you need a rise. I remember when we make money on ULS, when it just pumped, and I quickly told everybody, if you know you participated on ULS farming, I know school fees was coming, house rent was coming. I said you could sell now and pay your children's school fees and pay your house rent. Because I knew a time is going to come, many of those accounts will be melted. So I don't need to pay any concern if I want to accumulate more volume of the coin. And the price is melting. It's none of my business, right? So, but if you have not really planned yourself very well, you will be under pressure to still go and something that's melted, you still go and sell it because there was no planning. And those are the things, we must pay, serious attention to. Okay. All right. I think we've done no good tonight. And so thanks for coming. Okay. Any update will see sent to us because there's so many things that we want to leverage on. And then like those of you who we have told you, if you love Forex very well, and the Dean of Forex sent a message, if you love Forex, want to pay attention to learn basic fundamentals and all of that, make provision for you tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and all of that to just get the basics. And then, who knows? But that's what I know. People love what to love. And then when you see it, mine is to create an enabling environment, right? Mine is to create an enabling environment, and I want people to maximize it. If you don't maximize opportunity, it will come and pass you, and then you will come back and say, this thing is hard, it's not working. It's just because you would never maximize it. I've told us, you just need to adopt use theory against dependent theory. I don't depend on things, right? I don't depend on things. There are coins now that we have staked that have even forgotten that they exist. That's the truth. There are coins we have forgotten that they exist. And if I still go back to some of them, they have dumped so crazily below how much we bought. Some have dumped and have not gotten to how much we bought. An example of that same coin is Bullrun. I know a good number of you bought it when we were just making it. And one of the challenges many of us to have in our ecosystem is that we wait too much, right? When we bring out things, instead of for us to wake up, according to Chris Daniel, wake up, collect your money, stuff like that. So instead for us to wake up and collect our money, we'll be dialing, or we want somebody to experiment before we take a move. I don't do that. I take move. My strategy is epistemic in nature. If I perish, I perish. And she never perished, right? Now, but you need to know, of course, some coins may not work out where as we expected it. Fine and good. You are not going to kill yourself. That's the truth. Okay? That's the essence of diversification. If I tell you the way I diversify my portfolio, you will feel that, is this guy not be affected by bear market? Of course, it's going to affect it, but because what's my target in the first place? Right? Now, if you look at it, I'm sure we bought this thing 204, if I'm not mistaken. Some bought 2029. So, and then it pumped. I'm sure it pumped to, yeah. It pumped to, where is it? Yeah, it pumped to 3 cents. So the one that was worth of $400 that was bought went up to as high as $3,400. Now, since the purpose of the whole thing was not to buy and sell, was just to stake it and lock it there and see how these guys, what they say they want to do, how far they will go about it. For that, we're not moved to start the dialing, let me buy, let me sell, let me do this and all that, because that was not the purpose. Now imagine, so it went to about $3,400 and came down. Now, up now, so what was dispensed that time? Remember, one of the last one I bought was $400 intentionally. I'm always good at round figure, 1,000 pieces, 10,000 pieces, all of those things. I always say. Now, I now look at what of 100,000 pieces was $400, okay? And then that was what pumped to $3,400, right? Sometime when we are doing that, I will tell you, if you know that you are going to need money, in such case, when you come to buy such coin, buy in two paths. 400 to buy the one and stake and forget it. 400 buy the one that if it pump, I will sell. That is strategy. As a pump, you don't need to attach any sentiment, you just sell that one. And if you continue to pump, thank God, I have the one that I have locked. That's what you do. Now, when you sell, and eventually the thing done very crazily, that's going to hedge you to either buy into the same project again or take that money to another project entirely. So, but if you look at it now, what pumped to $3,400? If you go to maybe an account where 100,000 pieces was take, now that means still going to worth $1,000. Let me quickly look at something like that. I don't know. I don't used to remember some of this one. That's why documentation is important, okay? Documentation is important. So you do not need to, you can't carry everything in your head, all right? So you will see, okay, I may not even need to, because I'm not sure is this wallet, okay, that's where the issue is. Yeah, I like, you know, he does scatter it. I like scattering, not because I have more than enough, because I want more than enough, okay? So most time people think, oh, these calls, you have these, no, that's not, okay, this is not the wallet. That was just having the aggregate of, okay, so this, all this one now, they are wasting. This 2,000 plus, so they are wasting. It's just to compound it. I hope it's compounded big. I'm not saying I'm harvesting it. Because sometimes you could say you want to compound, you wouldn't know that it has harvested. And that would be an error. Okay. So now, if you go back, now, are there chances that this thing will still go back to the price we actually bought it? Yes, it's very possible, right? Very, very likely. Now, if you go back there, what should I do? Nothing. Perhaps I will not even come to check anything there. Okay. So reflected. So, you know, instead of saying, let me harvest it, it's just to like, and I think that this is the same style we did on Matic data. Everybody is shouting about Matic, but good number of people who told about Matic data and who refused to do it. I'm sure they are still living in regret. All right. So it's not rosy. It's not as if we are omnipotent, we know it all. For me, I take to be different because I'm a learner and I will continue to learn. And that has not changed my name. So I love to learn and I want to continue to learn. Okay, so that means about 100,000 pieces will worth $1,000. Of which what was used to purchase that was $400 thereabout. But there was a time it was $3,400 thereabout. So what should we do? Nothing, because the purpose that it was made for. Are there chances that this same volume that is still worth $1,000 now can even go to $10 eventually? You say, that is not good. If I can go to $1, so understand that. Because these guys have done that to us before. If I don't know anyone, I will know Midas. So everybody appreciate Midas now, talking about Midas and all of that. But there was a time people were insulting and talking things that were not aligned and all of that. This was not the all-time low of Midas. So I just beg us, if you are in crypto, you want to make it big, you just need to be intentional and make yourself, you know, Midas. And there you go. Okay. So what will you say when Midas came down to 0.001822 and from $4 that time, from $4? So how many percentage lost? As much as I can remember, the one worth of $5,000 came to $2.5. So that's why when you come to me, start lamenting, I can just delete you. That's why I don't have that energy, because that's why from day one, I always tell people, please pay attention to learning. $5,000 shrink down to $2.5, and $50 or $100 will have turned somebody's captivity around, because $100 buying the same Midas divided by 0.001822. That's about 54,884 pieces. Now that's multiplied by $33 now. That's 1,811,000. So $1.8 million. So will that person remember the $5,000 that he used in buying just 1,200 thereabout? That's shrink down to $2.5. There's so many coins like that that have crashed down now and all of that. If you don't have enough, if you don't have another money to buy them, don't lament, just forget them. Face other things. If I have more money to buy them, add to it. And this year, I don't have more money, I face other things. That's just as simple as that. All right, everyone, have a nice time. Enjoy yourself. Good night.